Sitting here thinking of warm weather, thinking about, maybe like sitting in the morning sun. I'll be sitting when August comes in Iowa with all my friends at SAI. This is going to be the can't miss event of the year. And I get the privilege, the luxury to be there with you. I get so passionate about the opportunity to speak to folks in the field of education. My mom was an educator, was a teacher for 40 years. And so I saw how passionate she was, her colleagues, whether they're at the executive level leading, say, a superintendent's role, a school board role, whether they're a teacher, they're an administrator. I mean, even the parents and the students, everyone is touched by the world of education somewhere in their life. And so the opportunity to bring my background as a piano bar entertainer into the conversation is both, I think, going to be unique and enjoyable for your attendees. Because what I'm going to speak about is this idea called the tip jar culture. It's the title of my recent book, and it's also the title of this keynote. And the idea behind a tip jar culture is this opportunity we have each day to create experiences for people that we work with, who we serve through our work, even for the person we see in the mirror each day for ourselves. And I think when we can focus on creating those types of experiences at an organizational level, we build what I call a tip jar culture, a place where everyone is contributing a little bit of themselves, their talents, their time, their treasures, to make the experience overall something unforgettable. So we're going to put all of these lessons around stories, songs, and strategies to create the tip jar culture on stage and build this experience live in front of your audience's eyes. So I'm not just telling them how to create a tip jar culture. I'm going to model it for them right there in the keynote session. What I noticed when I was working at piano bars all around the world, no matter where I was, no matter what type of establishment it was, some piano bars have just one piano. Others have two, a dueling piano bar. And there's more than just the piano performers that work there. There are the servers, the managers, the bouncers, the hostesses, and all manner of people contributing to that experience. And I realized that there were some common strategies and tools, techniques, if you will, that we would employ to create an experience for our audience that made them want to come back again and again and again. And that's how we build this tip jar culture. And so I'm going to break the conversation down into 3 elements that your audience members can take back into their workplace, into their districts, into their organizations, into their communities, heck, into their homes and their personal lives, that they can use to improve the experience they're having and they're creating for others each day. And this leads, in the business world, this leads to greater talent retention. So keeping staff, educators happy and in the job that they're in, which is a priority across the nation, retaining and attracting new talent. It's going to also have a trickle-down effect into the experience that the students have. Like the whole reason we're here is for the kids. At the end of the day, we're doing this because we care about our future, and that future is the kids. And so how do we create the type of experience where kids too, as well as the educators, are excited about the work that they're doing in the classroom, excited about this opportunity to learn, to be the cause of something great. And I'm going to share a story about how I noticed and where I first learned the importance of this thing an Austrian psychologist named Carl Gruss calls the joy at being the cause. I noticed it in my daughter. We were outside playing with sidewalk chalk. And I'll tell that story in the keynote. I'll save it for later. But we're going to go through these 3 elements of the tip jar culture. And I'm going to pair each one with a song or 2 to help reinforce the learning. Because as many of the people watching this video will know, music is a memory anchor. It reinforces moments in our lives, concepts that we learned. It's why you can probably recall 10, 15 song lyrics, and I bet you'd have a hard time reciting a poem in full. Because the music does something to that lyric. It gives it another anchor point. And so that's why using music in this keynote experience it's going to be fun, but it's also going to be a functional tool to help attendees retain the information, and then they'll be off living their life at some point in the future, and they might hear They might hear Don't Stop Believing, and they'll go, oh, I remember that piano guy was playing that song in a keynote. I also remember he was talking about the joy of being the cause. And you know what? I'm going to put that into practice today. I always like to say people are going to have more than a song stuck in their head. They're going to walk away with strategies and actionable tools they can put into practice immediately that are going to improve their lives, the lives of their colleagues and their coworkers, and that's going to trickle into the community and to the profession at large. And so I couldn't be more passionate or proud that I get the opportunity to work with your members at this conference, to be the ending on a high note, so to speak, as the closing keynote.